Joining us, Stuff magazine editor Toby Shapshak. Toby, good morning.
Good morning.
So, Bank Zero, it sounds ominous. Let's start there. But what is it?
Well, it's the new cell phone-based bank that is being launched by that celebrity banker Michael Jordan.
Celebrity bank, I love that.
Amongst others, and it's quite an interesting proposal because, as the name implies, they've said there are going to be no fees. It's going to be very innovative, but it's for this generation of people who have grown up with smartphones and use smartphones for just about everything. And they've just announced they've gone into beta testing, which is usually the final round of testing before something commercially launches. And they've started operating. It's pretty significant. It's been 5 months since they got their license from the Reserve Bank, and now they're operational, almost operational. So we're going to see some interesting stuff coming soon. And of course, you know, if you buy the Financial Mail, the cover is all about the 3 new banks that have come out: Bank Zero, Discovery Bank, and Time Bank. Backed by Patrice Motsepe, the last of them. So it's very interesting because suddenly there's a lot of movement
and we have
in the banking sector. I mean, apart from Capitec a few years ago, 10 years ago, there has been very little movement in the banking sector. But of course, there's such a huge range of new things that are made possible by technology and by smartphones and by the mobile internet that we're seeing quite a lot of interesting, to use that word, disruption.
Yeah, I wonder how the traditional banks are going to feel about that. But let's see. They're all, and where they fit in. Okay, so let's talk about your gadget. And you're wearing these sneakers.
Well, you know.
What's so special about those?
I should put them up on the table so you can see
them. Well, we can only see the dirty soles. Okay, let's see what's under there.
Well, actually, it's that this little, the round black thing has a Bluetooth chip in it. So when you run, this is a brand called Under Armour. They launched in South Africa recently, and the shoes are called Hover Infinite, and it's got a built-in sensor so that when you run, we
want you to put your foot back up there. We want to see how fit you are and how long you can keep it up there. Right.
It tracks the pace, the length of your pace, your cadence. You know, I'm a non-practicing health fanatic, but I'm in the process of becoming.
You're so buff. I would never have thought that. Yeah.
Why, thank you. I'm in the process of becoming a lapsed non-practicing health fanatic. So I am, you know, I've started running again, and these are really great because it, you know, especially if you're a serious runner.
So how's it helped you? Yeah.
Well, it's, you know, like all of this measurable stuff with wearables and fitness trackers. It just kind of.
So where does it feed into? Where does all that?
It goes straight into your phone, but you don't actually need your phone with you when you're running. I mean, it tracks all of that. Yeah. Usually you have sensors on your wrist or in your phone itself, and that tells you how you're doing and where you're going. But it's just an interesting development for me about how technology is becoming so much more pervasive. You know, some people go, it's just a chip in a shoe.
How do you know? Yeah.
But it's a chip in a shoe that, if you're a serious runner, would be very useful for you to know how you're running, what your cadence. So one of the things I learned is that my stride is too long, so I get shin splints.
Oh,
so
okay.
my physiotherapist, a great guy called Andrew Janse van Rensburg, who is himself an Ironman triathlete, taught me to run much shorter. So I take shorter steps. I cover the same distance, and that's called cadence.
So do you input what it is your particular concerns are about your running, or it just gives you
feedback and it gives you all of this data? But it's a level of data that you just can't get from any other device. So impressive use of the running shoe and the sensors to give you a better workout.
Well, I don't need a shoe to tell me you're very limber. You could keep your leg up there for that much, for that long. Well done, Toby. The running's paying off. Fantastic.
You had me at limber.
I had you at limber. Okay, that's Stuff Magazine's Toby Shapshak. He's our resident expert, and that's the latest he brings to us. Yeah, very, very interesting. I might want to get my hands or my legs or my feet on a pair of those. We'll be back in a moment.